Hello, everyone. What I thought I'll do is I thought I'll give a brief recording regarding the common calculations that you require in MNT with regards to weight status. So I thought I'll do a quick recording on the common calculations you will be experiencing for this, and that could be an additional resource for you to refer to whenever you feel confused regarding weight status and its calculation. While I'm doing these recordings, guys, it is very important to know that um, these sort of recordings that I'm doing for you, these additional recordings, we started with dietary calculations, then we had gone through energy calculations, then we went through macronutrient calculations, and now we will be going through weight calculations. All of these are considered prerequisites for you to be having this assumed knowledge before you enter into this unit. But I do these calculations because I know that a lot of you do struggle with this, and it's a good refresher for you. So when I am giving these sort of recordings, and I know most of you are certainly very genuinely grateful for this additional help and resources, and which I also greatly appreciate, that you value what extra bits we are doing over here as a team. But some of you are also annoyed at times that, oh, you didn't teach us. But please be mindful and please appreciate that if this was part of the learning objectives, learning outcomes for your MNT1, you would have had a formalized lecture on this and a workshop on this. But because this is considered prerequisite, you don't have a formalized lecture on this. This is just say additional burst of helpful resources that I'm trying to create, which may be helpful for you time and again. So please be mindful that this is not a part of the learning objectives for this unit. For me to be, means spending time and teaching this to you formally. So take this as a helpful resource. And of course, I'm very mindful that most of you are very grateful for this additional assistance. And that's why I love doing it, because I can see your positive response for the same. And that's why I love doing this and taking out time to build these sort of resources. All right. So just wanted to flag this to you that these are prerequisites when we look at the subject in technical terms. So guys, I just thought before we go on to the weight calculations, I will quickly summarize because I have covered a lot more on the nutrient and the dietary calculations. I thought I'll make a quick summary checkpoint list for you so that when you are practicing your case studies, you can go back to this checkpoint and see whether you are following these similar guidelines so that you don't miss out on anything. All right, so I'll just quickly go through these checkpoint. So when you have the food record chart and it provides you dietary data, which is only in serving sizes, okay, or else in household measurements, not serving sizes per se, but household measurements, like 1 cup of coffee and say 1 tub of yogurt. When you have the food record chart, the dietary data with household measurements, you first need to convert these household measurements into grams. All right, how do you convert household measurements into grams? You use your Australian Guides to Healthy Eating resource for this. Okay, detailed recording has been done in your part 1 of the video. This is a quick snapshot. Then what's the other take-home message? The other take-home message is that once you have your dietary data in grams, then you directly use your handbook for the nutrient calculations. Nutrients such as your calories and proteins, carbohydrates, so on and so forth. Okay. So what is the take-home message over here? Any sort of household measurements or converted into grams, and this grams you then use for your nutrient calculation. And when you're using your handbook for the nutrient calculations, when you're taking grams, please in your handbook, go to the ready reckoner, which gives you data for per 100 gram or per 100 ml. if your food item or a similar close approximation of that food item is present in the per 100 gram per 100 ml ready reckoner, this is a more specific, more accurate ready reckoner, and that is the one that should be used instead of the generic quick ready reckoner that you have in your handbook. Okay, so that is a thumb rule. Whenever you have the thumb rule applies irrespective across your life, guys, which is when you have a more specific, more accurate dietary data resource, you're going to be using that over something which is more generic, something which is done for some quick calculations. Okay, so yeah, so these are the key points over here. Then the next point is that if you have the dietary data which is provided to you in grams and in serves, okay, so you have both the options. You have it in grams and you have it in serves. Then what do? Well, you calculate the nutrient requirements based on grams. Okay, you do not use serves in this case. Why? Because your gram measurement is a more accurate representation of dietary data than household measurements or serves. Okay, so when you have both options available, grams and serves, please use the grams to do your nutrient calculations. Okay, then if you have a case in which if you have serves of food listed in the Australian Guides to Healthy Eating, and you have the serves which is also listed in the generic, the quick ready reckoner, which is present in your handbook. Okay, so your handbook gives you serves for a few food items in the quick ready reckoner. Your Australian Guides to Healthy Eating is essentially made for the purpose of designing serves, calculating serves. Okay, so this resource of yours, Australian Guides to Healthy Eating, its main purpose is to provide you with serving sizes. Okay, so when you have these two resources and you have to capture in a qualitative analysis what is the serves of cereals, dairy, vegetable that this patient is having throughout the day, you use the Australian Guides to Healthy Eating because it is designed essentially for a purpose to calculate serving sizes. Okay, so that is what you do. You always have to compare and reflect. This is where you have to use your critical reasoning things, and all of these tiny bits cannot be taught as part of this course, is what I'm trying to tell you. The course is for you to apply this knowledge into clinical setting, into medical nutrition therapy, into disease state, which is what I'm here for, to be teaching you formally. Okay, but sometimes students expect me to teach them this thing. Well, no, I can make these handy videos for you, these handy tutorial help for you, but then you have to start using your critical thinking and your reasoning behind, okay, so this food item is present in two places, but where should I take the information from? If it is serving size, when I look at AGHG, it is essentially designed for the purpose of developing and designing serve. This should be your argument. Basically, you know, I shouldn't be teaching this to you. You should say, oh, but hang on, Rati. It is the AGHG is designed for giving a serve. So that is where I'll be taking the serves from. Okay, so if you have two resources, that is what you select. All right. If you have the same item, now when it comes to a second example, if you have the same item which is listed in the generic quick ready reckoner in your handbook, and it is also listed in the per 100 gram or per 100 ml ready reckoner in your handbook, you will be taking the nutrient data from the per 100 gram or per 100 ml ready reckoner. And why are you doing this? Because this is a more accurate representation of the dietary data than a quick generic ready reckoner. All right. So whenever you have single item in two places, you have to take a step back and think, which one is going to give me more accurate data? Which one is going to give me more accurate findings? So that is the take-home message which I'm requesting you to capture from this summary up session so that you can apply this in various clinical settings. Okay? All right. So if you don't have the exact food item in the Australian Guides to Healthy Eating or handbook, what is the last take-home message? Use the closest possible logical food alternative to that food item. Okay, and all of these examples have been covered in your part 1 of the video recording, but this is again a quick summary point. And as I said, that use your critical thinking and reasoning to apply this knowledge into the various case studies that you're doing. All right. And come up with arguments and scholarship, which is where I can say, oh, yes, that's a good point. Let's do that. Okay. So I hope this is helpful, summarizing you the quick points of the dietary calculation. Now we will move on to the weight calculations. Again, remember, this is all prerequisites for this unit. But let me just give you a few examples which can get you started in the right track, just in case if you are confused. Okay. So yeah, you have your, let's take scenario number 1. So you have this scenario which you have practiced in your case studies. You will be practicing in your case studies time and again, is when you have the past weight, all right? And you are also provided with the current weight. And then you need to calculate the weight loss percentage. Okay, so if this is a weight loss case, for example. So 6 to 12 is 6 months back, as you all know from medical abbreviations. So yes, in the past 6 months, all right, the person's weight was 94 kg. Okay, so 6 months back, this is what his weight was. What is his weight as of today? His weight is 84 kgs. All right, so now again, you have to do the cross multiplication, the fundamentals of doing nutrient calculations in MNT, which is your 94 kg, which is the past weight, is 100%. Then what is 84 kgs? Okay, then again, you cross the borders, you marry Indian to an Australian, which is 84 into 100 divided by 94, and you get 89.36%. Okay, now you have to minus this from this 100%. Okay, so 100 minus 89.36 is 10.64. This means there is roughly 11% weight loss in a period of 6 months. So the person has lost approximately 11% of his body weight in a period of 6 months. Okay, so this is a scenario where the past weight is given to you and the current weight is given to you. Now let's look at a next scenario. Over here, you have the current weight which is provided to you. So what is the weight as of today? All right. And you have been given the weight loss which is occurred in a specific time period. Okay, so this is the second scenario. So let's look at an example. The current weight, which is the weight as of today, for this patient is 50 kgs. Okay, that is the patient's current weight. What is the weight loss? In the past 2 months, 2 of 12 means in the past 2 months. So in the past 2 months, the person has lost 5 kgs. Okay, so what was this person's weight in the past 2 months? Okay, so prior to 2 months, what was this patient's weight? Then you take 50 kgs and then you take this 5 kgs, which was 5 kgs, what he's lost out. You add the current weight to the weight that has been lost, which will give you 55 kgs. So 55 kgs was the person's weight 2 months ago. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Now you apply the same mathematics to this, which is cross multiplication. That the past weight 2 months ago was 55 kgs. His current weight as of today is 50 kgs. Okay, so 55 kgs is 100%, past weight being 100%, 50 kgs is the current weight. So what is the weight loss? Again, you cross the borders, 50 into 100 divided by 55, which is 90.91. Okay, now you minus that from 100, you get 9.1%. So the weight loss is 9.1% in the past 2 months. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. When you have the current weight provided, but then you have a weight loss specified in a specific time period. Now, the same protocol applies when your weight loss is in a time period, which is in a matter of weeks and not in months. Okay, so again, I'll share with you an example. So you have the current weight provided, weight as of today. Okay, then you have weight loss in a specific time period given to you. So let's take an example. Current weight is 50 kgs. Weight loss over here is 2 by 52. What is 52? It is in a matter of 2 weeks. Okay, so when you have 2 weeks, that is represented by the number 52. Okay, so in the past, in the past 2 weeks, what has been the weight loss for this person? All right, so over here it says it is 3 kgs. Okay, so now you do the same thing. The current weight is 50 kgs. The person has lost 3 kgs. So what is the person's weight? 2 weeks back, it was 53 kgs. Okay. Now you apply the same protocol, which is 53 kgs is the past weight. Current weight is 50 kgs. So the past weight being 100%, current weight is what? Cross multiply, you get 94.34 minus this by 100. Now you get the weight loss percentage, which is 5.66. So the weight loss is 5.7% in a period of 2 weeks time. Okay. So I hope this makes sense, guys. When you have the weight loss scenario, say in a specific time period being in months or being in weeks, okay, the protocol is the same. Then how do you calculate ideal body weight? So let's just hypothetically assume that this person has a height of 178 centimeters. Okay. So now what is the formula for BMI? BMI is weight, which is represented in kgs, divided by height in meters into height in meters. So what is ideal body weight? Ideal body weight is the person's weight at a BMI of 25. Okay. That's why we know that we want to understand, we want to get data for the weight at a BMI of 25, which is why we write 25 over here. Then you have weight divided by height. Do we have height data? Yes, we do. Centimeters, you have to convert to meters. So 178 centimeters becomes 1.78 meters. Okay. So 1.78 meters into 1.78 meters. Now you have to take weight on this side of the is equal to line. Okay. So when you take weight on, when you take division on this side of the is equal to line, this has to cross over and this becomes multiplication. Why this happens? This is maths. This is a simple BODMAS rule. Okay. So this is how mathematics functions. Okay. So now your weight is that side and your 25 has crossed over. So the division has become multiplication. So you have 25 into 1.78 into 1.78. You solve this, you multiply all of these numbers, you get the answer of 79.21 kgs. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that at a BMI of 25 kgs per meter square, which is also a person's ideal body weight, the weight of this person should be 79.21 kg. So that is the person's ideal body weight. Okay, so I hope this is a step-by-step clear and easy to understand. Now you have to calculate a person's adjusted body weight. Okay, so adjusted body weight, please remember the thumb rule is always a weight which is more than the ideal body weight. Okay, ideal meaning like the term ideal. Ideally, the weight should be that much, but it is very difficult to for any patient to jump to that ideal body weight suddenly. So you have to gradually take them through the process. And as you know, ideal body weight, adjusted body weight is calculated for patients who are overweight and obese. All right. For a patient who is healthy weight, you do not do any of these ideal body weight, adjusted body weight calculations. For a patient who is underweight, you again do not do any ideal body weight, adjusted body weight calculations. For healthy weight individuals and for patients with weight loss, you just use their actual body weight or their current usual body weight. Okay. So, yes, the thumb rule is that actual body, your adjusted body weight is always going to be a little bit more than your ideal body weight. What is the formula for adjusted body weight? It is actual body weight minus ideal body weight into 0.25 plus ideal body weight. Okay. So from the previous slide, we know that the ideal body weight is 79.21 kg. So let's just take that example forward. So ideal body weight is 79.21 kg. So what does this mean? It means when you have to do adjusted body weight calculations, you first have to calculate ideal body weight. Okay. So yeah. So your ideal body weight is 79.21 kgs. Okay. What is the person's actual body weight as of today? What is their current body weight? Or that is 85 kgs. Okay. So now you input these numbers. Actual body weight is 85 kgs, which is why we have 85 over here. Minus you need to have ideal body weight, which is 79.21. That is why you have this number over here. Bracket close into 0.25. And over here, you again have ideal body weight, which is why I have written 79.21. Okay. Now you have to follow the BODMAS rule. Okay. Meaning solve what is there in the bracket first. So minus 85 from 79.21, you will get this number. Then you multiply this number into 0.25. So solve this equation using BODMAS rule. If you don't know what is BODMAS, try to YouTube it so you can refresh your basic elementary maths. Okay. So 5.29 into 0.25. Okay. That is solved, which is 1.4475. Okay. So all of these bracket things are solved. Now you have to do an addition of the final bracket in plus 79.21. This will give you 80.6575. So basically what is this? This is 80.7 kgs. So do you see how the adjusted body weight is 80 kgs, ideal body weight is 79 kgs. Adjusted body weight will always be a little bit more than your ideal body weight. Okay. So I hope that is meaningful and it makes sense. All right, guys. So just quickly summing this up and highly emphasizing that these are prerequisites for this unit. And I'm very happy and very willing to keep making these sort of helpful videos, because I know a lot of you value and appreciate them, and you have told me how helpful this has been for your learning. So 100% I'm with you guys, and I'll definitely take out time to make any such little bits of videos that are helpful to you. But for those students who get annoyed that why did you not teach us this previously, we could have implemented this in our exams and in our assignments. Well, I'm sorry to say, but this is not part of the this is not part of this learning outcomes for MNT. These are prerequisites. Okay, so I'll try to help you as much as I can. But do not get annoyed, because I'm sorry, I cannot cover this as part of your learning outcomes. Year 3 is where you learn how to apply this knowledge into the clinical world. Okay. So I'll sign off over here, guys. And yes, whenever I feel there are certain other concepts which may need recording, I'll continue doing so. And if you would like for me to do any such burst of recordings, just let me know, and as and when my time permits, I'll keep recording those. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, and I'll sign off now. Thank you. Pause.